Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. The Guru Srimati Ji ki Jai. Ashtavakra, I got some feedback. To do more or less? He said something. What did they say? Okay, anyway, we just have a little bit to finish. Only this much. We've done a lot. So now that we're here, we might as well finish. The mind of one seeking liberation depends on things for perception. The mind of the liberated one perceives no thing and is free of desire. The mind of one seeking liberation depends on things for perception. The mind of the liberated one perceives no thing and is free of desire. How do we make things out of our perception? Are we perceiving one appearance?
How is it? You see me, no? So
Yes. But how do I make a thing?
thing means what?
How do I make a separation? How do I say this versus this versus this versus this? What do we actually perceive? Is it one appearance or is it the collection of these things which get together to make this one? Is it one appearance on which these things, within which these things are arising? Then can we include all perception into that one appearance? Too far? If we include all perception, including thoughts, memory, imagination, everything is perceived in the same space.
Space or space?
In the same existence, let's say. Even space, you experience within your own existence.
Difficult to understand.
Cannot understand, not just difficult. You see?
How is it? How do you see it?
I see it the same way as you see. What is the way you see? Tell me. How do you make it different? You see different colors, for example. Is it? But is it part of one appearance? How do you say that this one is different from that one? Unless you have a label, is it possible? How do you separate this body from the rest of the appearance?
Because there is some space in between.
If there was no space, if it is a completely crowded room, then you were stuck. Everyone was stuck to each other. Every body was stuck to every other body. And would you consider every body to be your body?
Because the eye sees.
I see, because it can seem like the vision is coming from the perspective, which is central like this, which I call the centrality of this bodily perspective, so it can seem like it is contained in there. And the sensation of this being more intimate. This, the visual of this body seems very close. These are the three things mainly. The visual of this body, the vision seeming to come from behind these eyes, and the sensations of this body seem the most intimate. Now, just because these perceptions are so intimate, does it make it you? Doesn't make it you, but when the thought is coming, it seems more believable because these sensations seem more intimate. That is the root of all of this trouble. But the fact is that even this we were not naturally born with. The idea that I am this body was also taught to us. So we've learned how to do this separation. The appearance is just seen as one appearance. So don't feel like I don't see colors, or I've said, no, like I'm not colorblind. I see this world as one appearance. But I see also that I need a label to make a separation. See, I need a thought, an interpretation. First, what is the primary? There is a me thought. There is a me which is this body, or enclosed in this body, or the owner of this body. If this was not there, yeah,
For the baby, was it required that it learns? Otherwise, it won't survive.
it is required to play in this way. It will, survival is independent. See, the whole point is that there is no separate there. It's just the play of consciousness.
Survival of what?
Completely up to consciousness, but it's independent of the mental crutches of thought. How does the baby know how to drink milk? It is born and immediately it knows. Is it using a thought? This is what I'm supposed to do. So whatever is required for its survival is already there. That intelligence. Oh, well, consciousness, I don't know whether we want to call it rudimentary. It's a very complicated process actually. It's not so straightforward. Okay, how did we come here? Let's track back. What are we saying? Perception. You're perceiving one. Okay, let's just say everything that you're perceiving, you're experiencing it in your own being, in your own inside you. Can we settle for that one at least? You cannot have an experience outside of yourself. Wherever your attention is going, must be traversing within yourself. You cannot actually send your attention to the road. There is no physical property which you're sending to the road. It can just seem like there is something within me which I'm moving there, and I seem to get the sound from the road more clearly. There's nobody on the road who can catch your attention over there. It's not a physical object that is actually coming into this sort of physical realm. So attention is just moving within us, and everything that we perceive is a play of this attention. So within this one appearance, then attention is bringing the objects, seeming objects to us. Now, the mind of the liberated one perceives no thing and is free of desire. So empty of these labels, perception is still going on, including the action and reaction of this body is also perceived. But it is seen that it is all in this one space. It does not make separation, it does not make things. Firstly, it does not make things out of your own self. You see, that is the most important point. Whether you have the secondary insight of the oneness of the phenomenal play or not, at least this much is important, that you see that this individual thing that you consider yourself to be is not present. This much we see. The individual thing that we consider ourselves to be is not present. So whatever the name, you see, that we have, the parents and we have given you, this is the name now for an individual form. Worldly players, we can say like that. But is it actually pointing to something? Somebody? Who is Uma? The name given to this form. You see? But Uma is also concerned about freedom. You see? So is this form concerned about freedom? Uma is also concerned about her children. I'm just saying, for example. So where is that one? Where is that one? Is okay now. Lighter now. Balance is low. I see. Are we on the right internet? Or am I speaking too fast? It is very muddy. Maybe reduce the fan a bit. Sound check, checking the sound. How is it now? I'll speak slower and clearer if at all possible. So first, it is important to understand that the me that we consider ourselves to be, which we always considered to be some sort of a thing, and we've relied on this body to give it its objective reference, to give it a reference point, you see, this me we are not able to identify, we are not able to find. Is much clear? So it does not belong to an individual entity. Agreed? Slowly. So first we said that which we considered ourselves to be, this individual me that used this body as a reference for itself, that we cannot find. It does not exist. Then if this one is not there, then who does this body belong to? If the individual ego is not there, then who does the body belong to? Who is taking care of it? Either we say that it is taking care of itself, everything is just happening, or we say consciousness. Both are the same thing actually. Is much clear? Now, if this is being taken care of consciousness, then are there individual entities outside of this, which are outside of consciousness, taken care by consciousness? So these are the various ways in which you can approach this. Once you see that there is no individual me, then it will become more and more clear that there are no others. Yesterday we were saying, isn't it? Someone came to Bhagwan and said, so now that I find this truth, how do I deal with others? And Bhagwan said, there are no others. If there is no you in that way, there can be no others. So that's why the core is to find yourself. What is it that you are? Now, the good news is that we are in for a surprise. We are in for a nice surprise, which is that we did not find a limited entity here. Instead, we found God. What do you mean by God? This very same consciousness. Why do we say it is God? When God is present, then the world is. When the presence of consciousness is not there, then there is no experience of any phenomenal world. In the light of your existence, does the world exist? Whatever you might be experiencing, call it a dream, call it waking state, whatever you call it, you have to exist first. Can you have a dream unless you exist? Can you have the waking state unless you exist? Therefore, your existence must be primary. So you went looking for an individual entity. Instead, you found this presence, this consciousness. When I ask you, can you stop being? What do you find? Can't stop being. So what is this being? Can you find the boundaries of this? This presence. What is the nature of this presence? Before you can decide what you want, what you have to do, can we find what is the nature of this one? Only after you find the nature of this one can you decide, no, that something is missing, what else is needed for it. So what is the nature of this consciousness? How can you measure this consciousness and tell me? How much does it weigh? 10 milligrams? Weight? What is the weight? What? How much does it weigh? What is the shape of it? Is it located in a particular place? In the room, where is it? Where is it?
Can we look for it instead of in abstract terms like happiness and stuff like that? Because it's very abstract. What do you compare?
Happiness can give you like a scent, maybe. So if you latch onto the scent of happiness and try to go to the source, what do you find? Because happiness exists without your existence. Is it? So if happiness has an opposite of grief or unhappiness, therefore this happiness is also a changing quality. The you see, that exists, is that a changing quality? Happiness and unhappiness is a changing quality. So now you're saying what? That this being is too abstract, is it? Or happiness is?
Instead of the weight of life and stuff like that, we can say compare it to location and weight. We can compare it to more abstract.
Yes, you can even compare it to these emotions, sensations, that which you call more abstract things. Is it? So happiness, how you define happiness?
It doesn't have size, shape, weight.
But has a taste, not a physical taste, but you can distinguish between the taste of happiness and the taste of grief, isn't it? Now, this being does not have any taste like that. That's why we say empty of all qualities. So these we can call qualities. So some happiness, sometimes we have the sweet feeling, little bit of happiness, little bit of sadness mixed in, is it? Bittersweet feeling. So all this is a play of qualities. But this being, your existence, what can you say about the quality of it? Just open. Now, if there was a constriction, then that would become a quality. Like the sky or the space, it is open. That means it is empty of qualities. Once it takes on a particular shape, then we call it with some quality. So the only thing that we can say couple of things we can say actually. One is that it has the sense of existence, the presence of existence, being. And it is the perceiver of all things phenomenal. I exist, and in my existence, all this perception is happening. It coordinates with the attention in a way that it brings this phenomenal world to life. This is your being. So we went out looking for a person, and we found God instead. Omnipresent, always present. Omniscient, knows everything. Omnipotent, in the light of which existence is, when it goes, the entirety of existence goes. So it matches up to all the descriptions of God. Now, this is the ultimate con. The ultimate con of the mind, which is also a design of consciousness itself, is to convince you that your presence is personal. Because very naturally we are used to saying, I woke up, I did this, I went here, to refer to our consciousness and to our attention. But in this, you never find individual I. It is just because the intimacy of these body sensations, the centrality of this body perspective that consciousness has designed to play this game of belief as an individual entity. That is why it is said, isn't it? I went looking for God and I found myself. And I went looking for myself and I found God. Just give me a second. So when you actually look without judgment, without interpretation, what is your finding? What is here? It is as simple as that. You could have been a spiritual seeker for 50 years. It doesn't matter to me. If you were to look just now, what is it that you find?
I know that I exist beyond that.
Huh?
I know that I exist.
I know that I exist. So you've
Beyond
gone
that.
even beyond what I'm asking.
Beyond some perceptions I have.
This I that knows it exists, what can we say about this one?
It's not limited.
It is not
Limited.
limited. What else? This awareness, this knowingness that is aware of existence is definitely not limited. In fact, the concept of limitation does not apply to it because it has no quality, shape, or size. This is the main point of Satsang. Everything else that we talk about on this side, the phenomenal side, the moving side. And I've said that in the play, a rare one comes to this point where whatever might be moving on this side, they are rarely interested in that. They are finding joy in the recognition of their own source. So this existence, which has been playing with phenomenal time and space. Now is done with the play of time and space and finding only interest in coming to the discovery of its own source. So what is that I that knows that you exist? Don't answer the question from the mind. Stay with your inner insight. And keep quiet. Keep quiet doesn't mean you can't talk. You can speak, but keep quiet. Notice if you're just imagining things. All imagination also comes and goes. So don't fall for any imagination. Find out who witnesses even this. What is aware of your existence? You can close this door. This one. Whatever might be moving, whatever might be changing, find out what witnesses that. Is that also changing? What is your position? Are you just in the moving? Are you just phenomenal? Are you just an appearance? What are you here? Are you the meditator? Whether you're Eyes are closed or open. Does it make a difference to what you are? If there are a million phenomenal things, or there are no phenomenal things, does it make a difference to that which is aware of even your existence? Does the mind bother you here? The mind only deals with phenomenal qualities. What can it truly say about nothing? Can it visualize the nothing, which is empty of all color, black or white? Cannot imagine yourself. You cannot think about yourself. You cannot forget yourself. Your mind might be rushing to conclusions. Just let them come and go. That's what I mean by keep quiet. Don't buy any story of yourself. Nobody is getting anything. Nobody is missing anything. There is nobody. Beyond phenomenal perception is your greater reality. That nothing, not greater in phenomenal terms, but greater because it is the only unchanging. Even your existence ultimately is coming and going. Yourself remains. Now the very subtle point here is that you're discovering that ego is nothing and the self is nothing. How many understand what I'm saying if I say like that? Ego is nothing, but the self is nothing. Make sense?
Ego does not exist.
Does not
Nothing is got a potential for.
Ego does not exist. It is like the blue cat in this room. Ego is like the blue cat in this room. You see? So if I told you, Aman just came. So if I said, on that side, there's a blue cat. You see? Because he trusts me, he might believe that. You see? And that belief, if he's got a fear of cats or he loves cats, there might be some attraction or aversion to it. But what is actually there? Nothing. When you see, there is nothing. When you come to the recognition of the self, it is not the same as that. I kept looking for the self, but actually, like the blue cat, it is nothing. It is not that. It is, but it is not a thing.
What powers ego?
Huh?
What powers ego?
Just this, our identity, which is this belief. I am something. You see, this I am something tries to make something out of nothing. That's why it's a mistaken belief. Yeah? I am Soumya. We just saw, no? Who is Soumya referring to? Nothing. Nothing actually, because there is no owner of this body, there is no owner of this mind in that individual way. It is nothing. And yet, the Soumya is a very honest person. Soumya is very something. Okay? So we've attached, now empty of all attributes.
Creates, claims.
Proclamations, claims, all the things that we have put in our basket of beliefs. Now, if you did not have a quality to refer to this one, then would it exist? Is there a Soumya if there was not even the label Soumya?
So every time the I energy comes up in a limited egoic way, what is powering me? Are you thinking about all these things and then?
Don't worry about the energetic sense of separation. Just don't feed it your concepts. Then it will not last. You see, I rarely talk about it. Because the more we talk about it, it gives us a project that we have to get rid of. Now this energetic sense of, since you brought it up, I'll just say a couple of things. The energetic sense of separation relies only on the nutrition of your belief and thoughts. It's like the tree which is nourished with our belief. Empty of egoic belief, you will find this energy has no real power, and one look at Guruji and doesn't even need a look like that. That's why I'm saying I don't talk about it, because then it gives us an idea that something has to be done about it. If it is not fed with identity, if it is not given belief in a thought, this seeming energetic sense of I has no power. In fact, mostly we are calling this sense of impersonal I am, consciousness itself, individual I. That is a big con, no? That's the big misidentification.
Because that is real in the sense.
That is real in relative terms.
Yes. But it kind of dissipates.
It doesn't really dissipate because it is real in those relative terms. What seems to happen is that it itself brings some focus, some belief into the identity. Just the way of its playing as the individual existence. Existence is just existing. It is not individual, it is not separate. That's why you did not find the boundaries of it. It is only that we have supplied it with limited notions. I am this way, not that way. I am this, I am not that. I am a person interested in money and the world, or I am a sadhu. Either is a limitation. I am bound and I am free. Depending on the I, are both limitations. So now what is happening is that every time you go and check for the blue cat on that side of the room, you're not finding it. You see, every satsang, you're coming to this inner insight, those who are actually looking are coming to this inner insight that there is no such person here, there is no blue cat here. You see? And yet, because it has been believed for so long, we suppose now for 1 million years, you were laying out a bowl of milk every day for this blue cat. And then you met a sage who tells you, there is nobody there. And you found it. You see? And this is the habit. Next day again, you will say, maybe just yesterday it was not there, so today why take the chance? But next day also you find it's not there. So every day we're checking over and over. And depending on how much that habit has been nourished, it's taking some time, seemingly taking some time to wear off.
So we are doing it at the mental realm and another realm.
Well, what is the mental realm? Mental realm is just a set of energetic appearances.
Beliefs.
Yes, the belief belongs to consciousness itself. So that is not mental. So belief can be given to the mind, a concept from the mind, but the power of belief does not belong to the mind. It is consciousness itself choosing to play in this way, and consciousness itself choosing to get out of this individualized belief. I am itself is playing as I am something, I am Soumya, and then I am itself is dropping itself of the Soumya belief.
So this conditioning that has been going on for ages has to clear out.
Yes, but that clear out is very simple because already happened. It sounds contradictory because I just said that, oh, it can take some time because it's been a long habit. What I mean by just happened, if you were to check right now, you're empty of all conditions. Before your next thought comes in, you don't have a condition. When this next thought also goes, you have no condition. In that moment of picking up this idea to be meaningful or true, we seem to bring that entire conditioned entity back. So the effort is to try and keep it alive, not to drop it. Actually, you don't have to drop it. Dropping happens now. Now. That's why Bhagavan said, if there is a seeming choice, just make the choice not to pick it up again. I'm paraphrasing, but simply put. I know. So don't go with your stream of thoughts. It's a much better way of saying it. But simply put, don't pick it up again.
Sometimes it's effortless.
Wait now, okay, so let's experiment with this. Now you are empty. Now, if you did not buy the notion of what this thought was going to say, what is your truth? So it can feel like I have to come to some sort of a conclusion.
That in the now, right now, the feeling is not.
If you don't have a conclusion about the feeling, as well as everything that is moving, just let it play. Because otherwise, again, you pick on the pose, the mask of Soumya, who wants to have a particular set of feeling.
What I'm saying is, it feels like there is a gap or something is suspended. It's like a short void, but it doesn't feel like the real thing or the.
What is witnessing all of this? Is that a void? Whatever the appearance might be, whatever the quality of the feeling might be, whatever the thought might be, what witnesses that? Are you in that primarily, or are you the witness of it primarily? What is going? Attention is going. Attention is going in and out. Now let attention also go in and out. It's okay. Without believing a thought, tell me, what is your true position?
Simple existence. Simply exist.
So now one set of thoughts might be meaningful for you, which is saying that there is a gap, and when it is filled up or something, then I am free. See, can you see how it is not true? If you can't tell me, because you're experiencing a set of feelings, the interpretation of those feelings is that till this is not made whole or something, till then I'm not free.
So, Father, there's a knowingness that this is not it. Then there is this brief windows of knowing that this is it.
Okay, so there is a knowingness that something is not it. Yes, it is not it. What about the knowingness itself? What can you say about that?
The gap is in.
No, that is the content of the knowing.
No,
I'm saying, what can you say about the knowing itself?
that I am knowingness is lacking for me.
Okay, don't have that notion that you have to become knowingness. I know you heard in Satsang.
No, it's not such.
But if you didn't have this notion, what is actually here? You say there is a knowingness of some sensation, some emotion, something, and there are concepts about it. Now, if none of those concepts meant anything to you, they seem to be in an alien language. Are you still here or not? Now, in this being here, is it in itself incomplete in some way without a concept?
Feels like that.
Just stay with your beings and don't interpret any feeling. Tell me, what is the incompleteness?
Dwelling in the mind.
This is coming from also from where? The mind only. Come sit closer. The mind is itself posing as the policeman, saying that you're still stuck in the mind. Is that not an interpretation?
When a question is asked this way, you use words to
Yes, I know
explain
what you
it.
mean, but you have to use the this is not like I feel it is so many days old. The water will be sweet, or it will be inside. None of that. Just from whatever truest interpretation that you can give to your insight that you're seeing for yourself, just use your words with that much clarity. So now tell me again, what do you see?
It's just nothing. It's just here.
Something missing in that?
clarity. I don't know how
What
to
would that
say.
clarity be? Because first you say just here, just nothing. Now, just again from just like that, without any interpretation, just report. What is it that is missing? Where is that one? That missing thing?
It is coming from, again, mind comparing it to another state where there was more clarity or more.
Yes. So suppose now you didn't refer to any memory also.
There was no looking required, Father. Here, looking is required as an activity.
Check on the veracity of that statement. Check on the veracity of this. For looking is required to exist?
No.
To be? For what is looking required? So that which we are clarifying now is just so that we can drop the false. It is not so that we can come to the truth. The truth is ever present. It is just that we are believing ourselves to be limited in some way. We are buying the notion of something missing. So the looking is so that we no longer buy that notion. We are believing the notion that we are a draw. So we are looking and seeing what is actually here. It is not to find the truth. It's a very important difference.
Yes.
The reading of the false is the same as the recognition of the truth.
It is complete in its own way.
Now
There
this
is nothing.
it, why you say it is it and not I? Check on that. What is it that is here?
There is perception,
Perception.
and then there is some tightness that is
There is some
tightness that is just
tightness. Now, are you primarily the witness of this tightness?
yes.
Now, tell me about this witness.
There is no boundary. There is no. There is. It just is. It's just open.
Where are you watching the witness from?
And the tightness is me. And
Is it true? Just explore this. So you say there is a witness which is unbound,
yes.
everything, and the tightness is me.
Yes.
Now this verify for yourself in your own insight. and then use your words exactly to represent what you're seeing.
The sense of body-mind is the tightness, Father.
The
And
sense of, or the sensations of body.
body-mind, that is the tightness in this
What do you mean by
perception.
sense of body mind? Very, very specific. What do you mean by sense of body mind? Is it sensations in the body? What is the
Sensations in the body.
sensation in the body and
I think that's it.
sensations of the body?
Yes.
Now they are sensations. Is the witness bound by these sensations in
No.
some way? No. So how is it communicating this with you? If you are something which is enclosed in this body sensations and the witness is outside of you, what is the communication? How is that happening? You are here in the body stuck. Huh? The witness is somewhere outside. So how is it? Is it screaming, yelling? Is it sending some photos?
It's just that when I see without, with clarity to say, it is kind of more going more towards the tightness than towards the,
What is going? Attention is going?
yeah.
Okay, let attention go to the tightness. What is the attention reporting back to? Is it reporting back to tightness or to the witnessing?
Witnessing.
So your attention is going, which means that even this is going to the appearance of these sensations and reporting back to you or to somebody else. Report back to the witness and then somehow you come to know. Is that how it is? Is it directly reporting to?
The knowingness knows, but I don't know whether I'm not feeling I'm the knowingness.
Because there must be already an idea of what I is.
Yes.
That is why, in spite of your clear seeing of all of this, and you're seeing that your attention is going and bringing back these sensations, these visuals, these sense of constrictions, you know very well that attention is reporting back to you, and you have no trouble with saying that it is coming back to the witnessing itself. But because there is a strong idea of what I can be and what I cannot be, therefore there is this hesitation to see it or say that it is you. Is there anything more than that hesitation?
Maybe not. Yeah.
Is there also a feeling, many get this feeling that it is too arrogant to say I am this witnessing or I am awareness?
I don't know if it is hidden there. That also might be there. I don't know.
So don't have to worry about doing a post-mortem of that. Just stay with your true insight and tell me what is your real position. Not what you're thinking, not what you're feeling. What do you see? And don't be scared to take your attention anywhere. Let it go. If it is going on a sense of tightness, let it go.
The tightness is dissolving or opening up, and
because of the opening up of this tightness,
yeah.
did something change for the witnessing?
Yes, it's.
That's a surprise answer. What happened? What happened to the witnessing?
No, the barrier or this thing is
So
kind of.
Didn't have the label barrier. The tightness is dissolving.
Yes.
What happened to the witnessing? When you're seeing, you have to say.
It's easier to say I'm the witnessing now because.
Yes, but what changed in your actual seeing? The dissolution of some perception happened.
Yes.
What changed for that which was the witnessing of it?
Nothing changed for the witnessing except that I feel more.
This I is which one? Slowly, slowly, slowly. This is important. Now from your inside you have to say this I is which one?
The witnessing.
This I is the witnessing.
Yes.
Nothing changed for that.
Yes.
And then
it is easier to say I'm the witnessing than
for the witnessing. Absolutely. I know it can seem like just we are playing with words, but
No.
we are actually not. We are just looking at some conditioning. Really. These are conditions which we find, what can we say about the witnessing? It is unbound, unrestricted, nothing is blocking it. And because the idea is that there's some constriction, something should go and then I'm free, or something like that. So now the mind is playing this guerrilla warfare, saying, see, now that went away, therefore.
yes.
From your inside you have to speak. That's why I said, don't make any inference. It's very subtle like this. Because these inferences have become part of our very way of life, in a way. So that when we're having such clear insights also, they can want to come and participate. You said already that nothing, this witness has no qualities, it is not bound, nothing can touch it. And then you say when some perception it's dissolving, it's just a perception, isn't it? Whatever it was, tightness, whatever the experience might be, just a perception. So the dissolution of that leads to what change in the witness? From your side, you have to say, inner side.
Nothing changed for the witness.
Now, nothing changed for the witness. Is there another one here besides the witness?
Nothing changed for me.
Changed for you. Is it only true for this particular sensation or constriction? If I was to say anything might happen phenomenally, but nothing can touch you in reality.
It is true.
This is the power of going with your direct insight and trying to see what inferences are being picked up and just allowing them to step aside for a bit. So much. That which was seemingly missing was already here. Clarity.
Yes. But then there is this
How did I know there's a but coming?
fear that comes up saying,
Fear is also
of
perceived
them.
or not?
It is also perceived.
No, but just don't make an inference out of that. If there is fear, go to it. Watch it.
Then it will dissolve.
What if it didn't? These are very, very, I'm glad we are having this conversation because right at the root of what is the condition, is it? Fear must dissolve. Suppose you didn't have that condition, what would happen to you?
That is when it will dissolve, Father.
Huh?
When there's no condition, is when it will dissolve.
Suppose it is not true. Suppose you can't predict anything about anything in this world. Does it have to dissolve? For you to be you? Or is this witnessing actually hurt by fear in some way? Okay. Now you come to this point where whatever the sensation might be, you don't mind. Suppose you have no idea what the target looks like. What is the state I have to get to? A fearless state, something state, angerless state. Suppose you have no such idea. What are you seeing about yourself in this intuitive way that you've been checking so beautifully?
Simply be. Simply be present, totally present. And you don't have to do anything for that.
Now, what appearance can come, then that can actually make a scratch or a dent on this witness.
Mind, belief.
Actually, easier to check. So even mind comes, you believe you're Soumya, you believe you're a blue cat. What actually happened to that witnessing?
It is a dent, Father.
It is a dent.
Because
Show the dent, let's see. Where is the dent?
because just time just goes on and on.
No. See, this is back to the level of inferences. No?
Yes.
Go back to your insight and then say,
Nothing happens to the
nothing
witness. Witness is also tired, Father, of this. Witness is also tired and saying enough of this.
Yes, that's why it creates this whole play of satsang. So in a way we can say that. And yet we can never say that something is outside of its will, is being forced to watch this movie or something. It's not that.
It feels like you're drawn into the mind, and then it's like a slippery slope. I mean, you just like
See, now, this is it. So we are using past
Yeah.
to make inferences about something. So now you're realizing, isn't it, why I say so much insight, not inference. Suppose you didn't know any of this. That the past happened, we can't really make a prediction of the future because of it.
That is how that is a very powerful thing that you just drop. You just drop. With that you drop all the karma, all the load, everything, and you have the choice every second, every nanosecond. You have the choice. Again, who has the choice?
Consciousness itself. Who is here? So that is why the teaching of doership, non-doership can be confusing. Because as the blue cat, you have no choice because you don't exist.
Yeah.
As consciousness or God, all of this is God's will, your choice. The same thing as saying God's will. So, as consciousness, you have full choice. You're playing this game completely because of your will. And as that, from which even this consciousness emerges, is unconcerned with this choice, no choice. Nothing has happened to that anyway.
Yes.
So for the self, the question is irrelevant. For consciousness, everything is its will. For the person, it itself doesn't exist, so how can it have will?
So when I say I'm dropping it now,
Yes, as consciousness.
as consciousness,
Only consciousness is. That's why consciousness
You can-
speaking with consciousness is satsang.
and there is no egoic play there, which
Now, egoic play is also whose play?
consciousness play.
But what are the dynamics of this play? Dynamics of this play is there is such a thing as ego only if there is belief in some notion, some thought. That is how the play is designed.
So when you drop, or when you decide to drop, it is consciousness, and then okay, because I don't know, am I in the mental realm when I'm willing to drop things and drop the belief in the thought.
The mind is not an existent entity. It is an aspect of your existence. So it itself cannot do anything. It is just a bundle of appearances, bundle of thoughts.
Okay. So the will or the sankalpa is of the consciousness.
That is the only will, because only consciousness is.
Thank you for simplifying so many things, Father. Really, because everywhere they make it really hard. And just the fact that the load of karma, you don't have to worry in this moment. Just dropping it. Such a huge relief. You don't have to do all this. And just recognition in this moment. Making it again very simple. Thank you.
Thank you for your openness. That is what makes the conversation simple, is it? If I'm dealing with just this sense of knowing a lot, then it becomes a conversation full of struggle because the inferences seem that much more powerful. If you're open and I say, okay, don't go with anything that you're believing, just stay with what you're seeing and translate it as truly as possible. A verbal report can never truly translate your inner insight, isn't it? What you're seeing for yourself can never be brought out, but I can smell on it where it is coming from. So when you're open, you're really checking, then it has the fragrance of true inquiry. And you're just, I'm asking, so who is it? Oh, it's just something. Then I can tell it's just coming from inference. So it is your openness which brings the simplicity to the conversation. That's what I meant by saying that if you're open, then you will find simplicity in what is being shared. A simple idea, which is impossibly difficult for the mind, that you exist, but without any phenomenal qualities, prior even to your presence. The mind cannot grapple with this. But if you were just to look, you were to check what is here, it is undeniable. And notice the play of the checker guy. He'll say, yes, yes. But actually, when I hear this, then this happens to me. Which is the me that you're representing? Anil just said that I'm a child father, so it reminded me of this movie Benjamin Button. See, uh, if you're my teenage child right now, then and you're going backwards. Soon come to your infancy. That's what's happening in Satsang, that all of us are coming to our infancy, you see. What does it mean? That true maturing, spiritual maturing, is to come to a conceptual infancy. The spiritual maturing will be your conceptual infancy. Even if you get just this one point, it is enough. Because many of us end up feeling that when we come to Satsang, we must understand all the concepts, and then we are learning something. And we are equating our spiritual maturity with our conceptual knowledge. Once you see the real game that is going on, my job is to strip you of all your beliefs. If you continue to be in Satsang, either you're going to hand them all over without resistance, or you're going to scream and shout and rave and rant and do it. Whichever way, I'm here to take them.
We like that very much.
Just scream and shout and rave and rant, or just handing over?
No. The fact that you're going to take it, irrespective of what.
Yeah.
We know what you're here for. We know what you are here for.
Yes. That is important. You see, because many times we can feel like, I've been to Satsang so many times and I haven't learned anything. Yes. Did you drop a lot of things that you learned earlier? That is important.
Father, it was not possible. It was possible only because you demonstrated that you are the child of your own father. And Bhagavan himself, even before the mala of God starts, he says that you are, so I am, and I am, so you, I know you are. And how subtle all the purpose of myself knowing a mirror which even I cannot clean myself. It is a grace which cleans itself to see its own face. It cannot come to me. You are the truth of it. You are the truth of it, Father. Only because you are the living truth of it.
I don't hear you so well, my dear. Your internet. My internet.
Bhagavan is the living truth of it. That it is.
I just don't hear you, my dear. I'm sorry. I was just trying to tell you that I hope my audio is not as bad as yours is, because some sentences were coming and then most of it was not being heard here. Maybe it is my internet which is not so good. But thank you. Thank you. Shivani says, been through the screaming and tantrums, running out of puff. Promise? Where is she? Camera is not on. Okay, one last verse. Not that we spoke much about the verse today. Timid men and women. I'm adding that to Ashtavakra. Timid men fear sensory experience, much as they do tigers. They seek refuge in caves, and they try to unthink the world. So this exactly what we are looking at right now. There is no sensory experience, no phenomenal experience which can hurt the reality of what you are. Now, don't pick up the idea that, okay, whatever might be coming, then this fear should not arise now that I'm free or something like that. Fear can also come, but you will see that no matter what is arising, it does not hurt the reality of what you are. A tiger comes, you might actually be running. The body will be running. You will see that in this play of consciousness, this entire movie keeps going on. That which witnesses it, that which is the light of the movie, the light which plays all this play of light and sound, is unhurt by it. Whatever the movie might be projecting. And remember to include this body as part of the movie. Then you'll drop expectations of how this body should react, or whether it continues to feel pain, or whether it reacts in anger. Include it in this appearance in the movie. As Guruji says, no? He says, just by you figuring out it's a dream, doesn't necessarily give the dream character some advantage in this dream. Your sensory experience. So then our life seems to go beyond this worldly play of just running towards pleasure and running away from pain. A reality you recognize is beyond that. They seek refuge in caves and try to unthink the world. Which means what? It's like the ostrich. Ostrich will put its head in the sand and just hope that everything will be according to how it wants, but not willing to look at whatever is appearing. So many who are seeking refuge in caves can also be like that. Escapism does not work in that way. Even if you escape whatever outer events, if you're still believing yourself to be a limited entity, if you're still believing what your mind is saying about you, then suffering will find you wherever you are, whichever cave you might be living in. Rahul is here. Rahul says, I don't want to know or learn. Just need to throw all by your grace, Father. If this is the feeling, then see that it's all dropped. All is gone. But the offers will keep coming to pick it up. The salesman will keep trying to sell you this garbage. What is the price we pay? We pay for the garbage of individual identity with the price of suffering. I know the words can seem harsh. Hoping that something worthwhile will come from this ego. It is our denial of consciousness, a denial of what truly is, that we consider ourselves to be something limited. If there's one sitting there trying to do it, forget about that one. These words will work on their own. By just coming into satsang, allowing your attention to stay with these words a little bit is enough of the job you have to do. Like Bhagwan used to say that you're on the train now. The train is going to the destination. You don't have to run inside the train. Many are tired in satsang because of that. You come to satsang and you're still running inside the train. Meeting them inside the train, what's happening? It's finding so difficult. What is difficult? Presence of the Sadguru is here. Whatever needs to be pointed to is being pointed to. You have really no job in this, at which you consider yourself to be. Effortless neutrality. $50,000 laps of the train in the last 3 years. Yeah? Shivani, 50,000 laps of the train in the last 3 years. Just stop now. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Ji ki Jai.
Sadhguru Shri Ananta-Ji ki
Jai.
Finally, this power button there on my t-shirt. And this is where, okay, it's a bit metaphorical. Don't take any of this literally. Okay? So, this Sadhguru lives. So let your life run in with this power now, Guru power. You can have no trouble. Even if there is trouble, whose problem? Guru's problem. Guruji's problem. All his power.